actors, it's Wendy Alane Wright, the Hollywood talent manager in Los Angeles, California. And I'm going to answer some questions today from actors who have asked me, how can I get an agent in another state and get representation in like another part of the country or another part of the world? If I live in California, can I get an agent in New York? Can I get an agent in New Mexico? Can I get an agent in Atlanta? Or if I live in England, can I get an agent in Los Angeles? Let's talk about that for a second. So, commercials. For commercials, you really only need an agent in your own state, because commercial auditions come up really fast and you have to be on location like the next day sometimes. They shoot that week, you have to be there, and a last minute flight all the time is really undoable for 99% of the population. I mean, if you work for an airline, you're probably good to go. But if you don't work for an airline and you are in Los Angeles and you sign with a New York agent for commercials, that New York agent is going to expect you to be in New York to shoot those commercials every single time you get one, which means you have to fly to New York 2 times a week, 5 times a month. That's expensive. Okay, so if you don't have fly to New York 5 times a month money, don't worry about getting an agent in another state for commercials. Absolutely not. Just do commercials in your own market. Also, do commercials in a 500-mile radius that you can drive. If you can drive to a state within a day, then you probably could work as a local hire in that state. Meaning, if you live in North Carolina, it only takes 6 hours to get to Atlanta. So you could live in North Carolina and have a commercial agent in North Carolina, a commercial agent in Atlanta, and just drive to Atlanta every time they ask you to be there. COVID fittings, wardrobe fittings, it's only a 6-hour drive. You just get in the car and you go and you're there. If you're in Las Vegas and you want to get an agent in Los Angeles, it's a 4-hour drive, 4.5-hour drive from Vegas to Los Angeles. You could work as a local hire in Los Angeles. Just think about, what is a local hire? A local hire means that, let's say you and I are going to make a movie, right? Or we're going to make a commercial and we're going to cast it. And we don't want to pay for people to fly in from Atlanta or Canada or South Africa. We're not paying for that. We only want to hire actors that already have a place to stay right here where we live, and can put themselves up in a hotel, or they have friends to stay with and can get themselves here. We're not paying anybody's flights. We're not paying anybody's hotels. They need to be local. Now, if you are local to a community, meaning let's say you live in LA, but you have family in Dallas, and you could stay for free, and it won't cost you a penny, and you can fly yourself there 1,000 times a year, then you can consider yourself a local hire in Dallas, because they don't have to pay to fly you there. They don't have to pay to put you in a hotel. You've got family and friends to stay with. Sometimes agencies will hire people from other states. They'll sign people from other states and submit them to projects if the actor is a true local hire. Now, what does that mean? Agents have gotten burned many, many times. Like, somebody has said, oh yeah, that's not a problem. I can be in New York just like that. No problem. 5 times a week, no problem. I can be there. So the agent says, okay, I'll sign you. And then the agent signs the actor, starts submitting him to casting, and then they get an audition for Tuesday in New York. And the actor goes, that's like tomorrow. I can't get there. That's going to cost me $1,300 for the flight. I can't do that. Don't ever tell an agent that you can be a local hire if you can't. I mean, they're immediately going to drop you anyway when you do that. So just don't do it. Also, can you have more than one agent in different states? Yes. If you are in Los Angeles and they're covering you for the Los Angeles area, like all the projects that come out of Los Angeles, but they're not submitting you for New York projects, you could have a New York agent as well. An agent in New York that handles you for TV and film in New York, and another one that handles you for film and TV in LA. And if neither of them are covering Atlanta, you could have a third agent that's covering you for Atlanta. And if none of them are covering you for Canada, you could have a fourth agent that covers you for Canada. The issue becomes tricky if an agency has a bi-coastal office and they cover you from LA and New York, then you can't have other New York agents because the agency you're signed with covers you for both, right? You just have to really talk to the agent and say, listen, I know that you're signing me for LA, but you don't represent me in Atlanta, so I'm going to have a different agent for the Atlanta market. Is that okay with you? And if they say, absolutely not, but they don't cover you for Atlanta, then don't sign with that agency, okay? There are other agencies that will say, of course, you can have an Atlanta agent. You don't live, we don't cover Atlanta. Why shouldn't you have someone in Atlanta covering you? Of course. Now, Florida is very different, especially for commercials, right? If you live in LA, you can only have one commercial agent. That's it. You can't have 16 commercial agents. In Florida, you can. You can have 10 commercial agents. And the way it works there is very, very different than the rest of the country, where you're only allowed to have one agent in a market, one commercial agent in a market. In Florida, you could sign up with 5 different agencies, and all 5 of them will submit you. And whichever agent is called by casting, that's who gets the job. That's who earns the commission. So all 5 agencies are submitting you to the same exact job, but whatever agent they pick up the phone and call and say, hey, can I have your client? That's the agency that gets the commission, and that will call you and tell you you have an audition. If you book the job, they get the commission. That's how Florida works. What do I know? It's none of my business. I don't care. I am in the LA market. I'm a manager in Los Angeles. And also about managers, you can only have one manager. Now, you might have a manager for music. Sometimes some people come to you with a manager they have for their comedy career. And now they wanted to get into acting. And the manager in the comedy career knows nothing about the acting business. So sometimes you keep that separate. Other times, you might have a manager that handles everything. They handle your music career, your comedy career, your acting career, your modeling career. That manager is involved with everything. I'm a manager that has experience in all of these things. So I can represent an actor, a model, a comedian, a writer, a producer, a director, any of these things. I have experience in all of these areas. But some managers are specialized just for models or just for music business. So you have to talk to the manager and see if they have the expertise you need. But typically you can only have one manager. So, and usually managers sign you and represent you and coordinate with agents, all the agents you have. The manager will work with all of those agents on your behalf. So you might have a voiceover agent, a commercial agent, a TV and film agent in New York, a TV and film agent in Canada, one in Atlanta, one in LA, and one manager that oversees everything and coordinates with everybody and tries to help everyone support you. If that sounds, I try to make that as simple as I can, but I'm sure it brought up other questions for you. So go in the chat down in the comments below and ask me any questions you have about managers, agents, working in different markets, etc. Being a local hire, but don't ask me questions I just answered in this video. Okay, if I answered it in the video, go watch the video again. I will not answer questions that I already covered in this video because that's a waste of my time. And I don't let anyone waste my time. So if I did not answer the question, put your questions below and I'll happily answer your questions with love. Okay, listen, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video. Have a beautiful day. Hit subscribe if you want more information about the acting business. I'll be happy to give it to you. See you later.